matter what happened, we're gonna fight for each other each and every day.
Man, I feel like I just we call you a veteran.
Notice you were wearing the piggy.
All right, piggy glasses.
Maxwell, how are you? Doing okay? How you doing?
Okay. Feel charged, ready. Is it the news? It is the news.
Oh, we made it?
I think that's the that's the news. That WHAS, I believe. It came at an interesting time as it relates to the time that was told that this is going to take off.
Right.
Mayor Fisher said this city is safe. But it's close to 120 deaths in their community, in our community.
I was waiting for this car to come around, but that's cool. All right, let's go.
No justice! No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice! No justice!
No peace!
What's up, everyone? Jared Riot here, live Louisville, Kentucky. We are in downtown. Small numbers, about 25 people have gathered to do a small demonstration, a march in support of justice for Tanisha Chappell.
We're gonna say Tanisha Chappell.
Tanisha Chappell.
Okay? Say her name!
Tanisha Chappell!
Say her name!
Tanisha Chappell!
Say her name!
So, Tanisha Chappell died in Jackson County while she was incarcerated. She was serving an extended length sentence in Jackson County Jail and died under mysterious circumstances. I honestly don't personally know all the full details of the suspicious circumstances. I've been doing some research. I know a little bit of the details, but basically she had sent out some distress calls to some of her family saying, you know, get me out of here, something's not right. And a few weeks later, she was taken to the hospital. It's pronounced dead on arrival, I believe. But to die while incarcerated, while at the charge of the state, who is supposed to be taking care of you, keeping you alive while you serve your sentence to society, to die while you're in that situation is completely unacceptable. You know, and this is a little year after the protests for Breonna Taylor, who was killed by LMPD last year, 2 years ago. Oh, no, 2 years ago now, I guess. Damn. But we are out here still marching against injustice.
As a black king in America, I feel some type of way.
Yeah.
If you stand for Black Lives Matter, if you don't think that day really changed your life, I don't know what else we can really say. They took over the United States capital of America. We took over a couple of streets.
We're live
in
on the new
Louisville,
page
Kentucky,
under Jared
and
Riot
we
instead of
getting
Riot
torn.
Heart. So if you could share the
We're
live
getting beat up.
so that
We
people can
getting
find the new
slammed.
footage, should be great.
And they talking about take a plea deal. We're not taking no plea deal at all.
We got WLKY
Every case
out.
that happened in Louisville, we want every case to go to trial. Every case. According to the Constitution, you're not allowed to put your hands on us at all. No matter if we have one person marching, no matter we have 1,000, we still gonna bring awareness in this city. This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. I should have to say another motherfucking name. I should have to say another motherfucking name. I should have to say another motherfucking name.
About 25, 30 people with us, I'd say. I'd say we got about 20 on foot. Maybe another 10 and a couple of cars behind us. Typically when marches happen, there are a couple of vehicles and or individuals that are on bicycles that go out ahead and tail the march to keep anybody that might want to do harm with vehicles from being able to, drive through. So they help safely divert traffic so that individuals that are practicing their First Amendment rights in the streets can do so safely. Usually we got medics with us. I believe there's a couple people with some general medic training that is with us today. We always have cases of water, making sure people stay hydrated while we're
At the
out.
same time, it's a couple of us soldiers that's been out here marching in Louisville, Kentucky that's on house arrest. Some of us just got out the feds just by standing up for what's right. So when I say justice for D, I just want y'all to repeat after me. Justice for D! 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 Justice for D!
Justice for D.
Justice for John.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Yeah, we're going this way. If we go first, get on that side.
You okay? You gotta get his head. Some he's having some kind of. What happened? I think he's having some kind of alert. Some kind of.
It's good.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna bring out a new little chant.
You don't want to.
Everybody repeat after me. I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand
For my people.
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 Black Lives Matter.
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 Give me a pen. Give me an L. Give me an L.
Again, we are live here in Louisville, Kentucky. This is a march, justice for Tanisha Chappell.
If we don't get no justice,
About 30, maybe 35 people with us total now. Numbers are slowly growing as
if
we
we
march,
don't
of
get no
course.
justice, if we don't get no justice, Black Lives Matter.
Black lives matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black lives matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black kings matter.
Oh, my bad, bro.
I said I love being black.
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 I like the color of my skin.
that's the skin that you're in?
So, most recently, as of yesterday, I believe, Louisville's mayor, Greg Fisher, did an interview with a local journalist that is typically rather right-leaning. And he was quoted in saying that Louisville is safe. Louisville is safe. The issue with that for two reasons. Louisville's currently experiencing some of its highest homicide rates ever. You know, lots of people have to carry weapons, firearms around the city just to feel safe. But that's just the general crime rate in Louisville, Kentucky. It has nothing to do with protests. That's just Louisville as a whole. We've always had one of the higher crime rates in the United States, but we're currently experiencing some of the highest homicide rates in our own history. So to project that Louisville is completely safe is A, a lie, and B, why wasn't he saying this last year during the protests? Because nothing's changed since the protests last year. Why wasn't he telling people, look at all these other cities where stuff has been burned, Louisville hasn't burned? Why couldn't he have said it last year during the protests? He has to wait now until it's over to try to claim that, even though it is still a bold-faced lie.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Racist police! I said no justice! No peace! Fuck these racist ass police! No justice! No peace! Fuck these racist ass police! How do you spell racist? LMPD! How do you spell racist? LMPD! How do you spell racist? LMPD! LMPD! How do you spell murderer? LMPD! United we stand! Divided we fall! United we stand! Divided we fall! United we stand! Divided we fall! No justice! No peace! Racist ass police! I said no justice! No peace! Racist ass police! I said no justice! No peace! Racist ass police! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. I shouldn't have to say another motherfucking name. 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 Say her name. That's a man. Say her name. Tanisha Chappell. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No lives matter till 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 Black Lives Matter! Say her name! Tanisha Chappell! Say her name! Tanisha Chappell!
So if you're just tuning in, we are marching for Tanisha Chappell. The details on her case, her situation are still hazy. There's a lot that hasn't been brought to light yet. But basically she was serving time in a Jackson County jail and died under mysterious circumstances. No footage or anything has been released, no details. So it's really just kind of a sketchy situation that no one's really aware of what's going on. So people are marching, asking for justice for Tanisha and asking that the information about her death be released. You think about a jail, and it's supposed to be where people go to be incarcerated so that they can rehabilitate and be entered back into society, correct? That's the way the judicial system works. You serve your time, you are forgiven by society. So to think that these facilities that are supposed to be housing and keeping individuals safe and alive while they are serving their time to society, that someone could die under suspicious circumstances with no details is a bit appalling, right? It's just another way of showing how the system is inadvertently broken, disgusting, not assisting us as a people any further. The prison industrial complex is a real thing. Prison industrial complex, basically from high school straight to prison, so that for-profit prisons can continue to make their money. You keep people incarcerated so that CEOs and stockholders for these companies, these incorporated for-profit prisons, continue to make that money. So when that happens, especially under a capitalistic reign, you get individuals that are penny pinching and they're taking away human rights from humans that are living in incarceration. So they're pinching pennies to cut costs on human rights. Man, I'm a little disappointed by these comments. Is there anybody out there? Shannon, how you doing? You're the only one that's been commenting, apparently.
That fight for justice. A lot of people's lives been changed when they came down the freeway.
We are on a new streaming platform. We're under Jared Riot. It's my individual anchor page that we just created. We're going to be picking up some other anchors so that we can broaden our coverage in the near future. So as we do, we're going to be putting out these anchor pages for each news reporter that we're going to be taking on. He's witness journalist, if you will. So the live footage will be coming from these individual pages and they're being shared on the Riot Heart page. One of the reasons for that is the Riot Heart page is currently being suppressed. People Facebook in and of itself is squashing the reach, throttling the reach of the page. So anytime I go live, people aren't getting notified even though they got notifications set up. That's been since January 12th. On January 7th, I got hit with a community standard violation. Once I got hit, fuck you, dickhead! Suck your dick! Get fucked! Yeah, get fucked, bud! Yeah! Sorry about that. I had someone drive by and say something nice or something not nice, so I had to return the sentiment. But yeah, since January 7th, I got hit with a community standards violation. That was because I posted two pictures of individuals that were involved in the storming of the Capitol. So they were actively participating in an attempted and failed coup. They were wanted on FBI charges. So I posted pictures of them. As a news outlet, that's what you do, right? But apparently, first I got hit for supporting a hate organization when I was in fact not condoning the hate organization. I was saying, basically, look at these dumb jackasses. They're wanted on federal. So, get hit with the community standard violation. I appeal, I win. It goes back up. 30 seconds later, it goes back down for bullying. So apparently now it's harassment. Facebook hasn't done anything to try to fix it, and they are threatening to unpublish the Riot Heart page, and they have been since January 12th. So we're going to the individual anchor pages, the individual witness journalist pages, so that we can get live footage without getting, that throttle. So share the Riot Heart page, or share the Jared Riot page. Make sure you like and follow. Make sure you tell your friends to like and follow, because that's where most of my live coverage will be coming from here on out. As of about a month ago, Riot Heart and the Right Heart Inc. have officially gotten their tax exemption. So we're 501c3 tax exempt now. We are full-fledged, federally recognized nonprofit. Any donations you make are now tax deductible.
When it comes to
Even though that is the case, Facebook is still trying to fuck us.
the Asian bill get passed less than 3 weeks. We, as black Americans, we've been trying to get a bill passed for us since the 1946.
1836.
That too.
Been a long damn time.
But it's the reason why I chose to march to this Lincoln Memorial. There's a reason. Because when you think about freedom, and as a black American, you should think of him first. It took the 16th president to have a heart. To have a heart.
Got a bird up. I don't think it's PD bird. I think that might be a news bird. But somebody's up in the sky keeping an eye on us as we march.
I love being black.
I said I love being black.
I said I love being black.
I said I love being black.
I love the color of my skin.
I love the color of my skin.
'Cause it's the skin that I'm in.
It's the skin that I'm in.
I love my nappy ass hair.
I love my nappy ass hair.
And I'm rocking everywhere.
And I'm rocking everywhere.
I can't hear y'all.
We've also got 2 new t-shirt designs that we haven't been able to get up on the web store yet. We do have the original gas mask logo with the middle finger on the back that is up, riotheart.com. But again, 2 more designs will be up soon as we can get our web store updated.
I love the color of my skin.
'Cause it's the skin that I'm in.
It's the skin.
Any donations
I love my
or any t-shirt purchases go towards, first and foremost, helping us continue to build our infrastructure, helping us maintain business, maintain being able to cover events. Towards the end of the year, any money that we have pulled will automatically be distributed back into the community through various programs. We don't have any direct programs ourselves yet, but we do have other nonprofits that we work with closely that we would make sure money and resources would be distributed. So at this point, none of the directors of Riot Heart are taking any type of paycheck. It's all strictly volunteer work.
Don't think that because she was killed in Jackson County that we will not make noise for our own. We can demand justice from right here where we are in the city of Louisville, Kentucky. Jackson County, we coming.
We coming.
You was wrong. You took one of our loved ones. You took another black queen. There's no way we're going to sit around and be silent. Stop killing us.
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 And then y'all can't even formulate a story for the family. You can't even give answers. Every time you give a story, it's a different story on why this 23-year-old black woman who had a whole life ahead of her with children was murdered in your custody. We demand justice. We demand answers.
No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
happened to Nisha?
What happened to Nisha?
What happened to Tanisha?
What happened to Tanisha?
What happened to Tanisha?
What happened to Tanisha?
Give me a beat!
B, I got your B, I got your B.
I know y'all can get louder than that. Give me a beat!
B, I got your B, I got your B.
Give me an L!
L, I got your L, I got your L.
Give me an L!
L, I got your L, I got your L.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
These niggas.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter. No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter. Fuck 12. 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 Damn right.
Give me a beat!
B, I got your B, I got your B.
Give me an L!
L, I got your L, you got your L.
Give me an L!
L, I got your L, I got your L.
And what's that spell?
Black Lives Matter.
And what's that spell?
Black Lives Matter.
And what's that spell?
Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter!
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter!
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter!
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No justice!
No
So,
peace.
it being Saturday here in Louisville, Kentucky,
Said no justice!
No peace. Fuck these racist ass police.
I said no justice!
No peace. Fuck these racist ass police.
I said no justice!
being Saturday here in Louisville, and
police.
pandemic stipulations being loosened. This is a waterfront event that is going on. Shinedown maybe, but there's two bands performing on some stages back there, and this is the line forming for the event. I've got a section of the road blocked off, I guess, just to help with anybody forming in line. You can see, got that officer right there trying to videotape us. He's got his camera down. He's got his camera down by his side. He's videotaping. He put it down just a second ago. He was holding it up. Curious as to why it would appear that an LMPD officer has his personal phone out while on duty taking video of individuals.
What's up, buddy? How are you, dude? Good to see you.
It's a shame that we have to be out here protesting and marching just to be treated like equal, just to be treated like human beings, just to be treated fair. We have to be out here. We've been out here over a year, fighting for black life, fighting for brown life. And if you are not with us, you are part of the problem. I deserve to raise my children in peace just like y'all do. My children deserve to walk in the store without being watched just like yours do. My children deserve to vacation. Block your ears. So Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. So what? So what? We're going to be out here. So sign up, tell your government to give us our reparations. And get the fuck on. Reparations, cut the motherfucking check. Give us our money, our heritage. We built this bitch. If it wasn't for us, it wouldn't be y'all. Y'all love to look like us. Y'all love to tan like us. Y'all love to get y'all lips like us. Y'all love to have y'all asses. But then y'all don't want none of these black problems. But everything revolves around us. We built this motherfucker. Y'all tired of hearing us Tell them give us our reparations. Tell them give us our heritage. Tell them give us what's owed. Everybody else get paid for that stuff besides us. Why? 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 Because y'all already know we the rulers of this motherfucker. Period. Lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Fuck y'all concert if you mad.
Ooh.
Because we gotta be black every day. We can't turn this off.
Pollinator habitat zone. So I don't know this for fact, but if I had to guess,
All day, every day.
if anyone from Beargrass Creek is watching and can correct me on this, feel free. But I would assume pollinator habitat zone has got to be local foliage that helps curate pollination for local bee life, local bug life. It's the first time I ever noticed a sign like that, so I wanted to point it out. Again, if anyone from Beargrass Thunder is watching and would like to comment on that, please do. But just a moment ago, as we were walking down the line, there was a man that had his fingers stuck in his ears. I guess the megaphone, someone yelling Black Lives Matter, damages his ears, but he's going to go and watch this live outdoor concert with probably, I'd say roughly 5,000 watts of speakers. So, you know, he's going to go blow his eardrums out for Shine Down, but someone with a megaphone saying Black Lives Matter is just too much for his sensitive ears. What's up, Nicole? Cheryl? Hey, everybody. Again, we are live on Jared Riot. Facebook has been throttling the Riot Heart page. It's been, you know, keeping us from having our full reach to our followers. So this new page is unrestricted. You should actually get notifications every time I go live. So make sure that you like, follow, share, get other people over to this page so that we can continue to get the best cover and exposures possible. Eventually, as we pick up a few more witness journalists, I guess live anchors, we will get them pages as well, and then we'll be sharing it all to the Right Heart page. The Right Heart page is going to be predominantly used for like fundraising and our events moving forward. Jared Wright also posts a lot of memes and funny things, so a little eclectic mixture for you.
Oh, you don't hear me? Let me get a little closer. I'm here for a concert. We're here for life. We're here to live. The fuck? In the midst of your concert, look what the fuck we gotta do.
My question is like, your ears are too sensitive for this megaphone, but then you ain't gonna stand in front of those speakers and shit.
Yeah, you just want to hear my voice. You don't want to hear what I got to say. So when I raise my voice, I'm just an angry black woman with no reason to be angry. With no reason to be angry. Oh, it's just an angry black woman. Hey, go. Well, she didn't get her food stamps. What is her water? What is it? No baby daddy at home? All that shit.
We're making our way down. Making our way down to Louisville's Lincoln Memorial.
Right. And a lot of people don't even know it's a important statue that it's very inspirational. It's very like
they're trying to get around us. We've got traffic all slowed down
this
behind.
that great balance. You know what I'm saying? And
okay, we'll hold it till we get there. How about that?
yes.
Oh shit, I forgot that we baked it.
Jamie got some in her car?
One that I handed off.
Oh, they bad because the juice is behind us. They must have came out.
Oh yeah.
Water! Aaron!
Good water. Stay over here.
Come on, Steve.
I shouldn't have to say another motherfucking name.
I shouldn't have to say another motherfucking name.
You shouldn't have to say another motherfucking name.
We should have to say another motherfucking name.
No justice.
No peace.
Fuck these racist ass police.
I said no justice.
No peace.
Fuck these racist ass police.
I don't know if we have a dedicated water truck, but there is a vehicle that is carrying some waters for us. So I think we do got water covered at least.
I said no justice. No peace. Fuck these racist ass police.
Black Lives Matter.
Black
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Out of the car,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. You can't stop the revolution. 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 United we stand.
Yeah, Sam, you're right. Tara is currently not able to live stream on Facebook, and no explanation. They gave her zero reason. She's live streaming on Instagram now. If I remember correctly, it is Tara Laura. Oh, I can't remember her full Instagram handle. Shit. But Tara's live on Instagram right now because she is being not able to go live on Facebook. Facebook has shut her down for the moment. Maxwell Mitchell should be live as well on Facebook.
Black Lives Matter.
Hold on. Check this out. Look at this. Rickshaw. We got a rickshaw. Rickshaws are cool.
Stop killing us! Stop killing us!
Say her name.
Tanisha Chappell.
Say her name.
Tanisha Chappell.
Say her name.
Tanisha Chappell.
I said I love being black.
I said I love being black.
Love being black.
I said I love being black.
I love the color of my skin.
Maxwell over here cheating.
'Cause it's the
He's a
skin
cheater.
that I'm in. I love the texture of my hair.
I love the texture of my hair.
'Cause I can rock it anywhere.
I can rock it anywhere.
I said I love being black.
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 No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter
till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
Cheryl, we got it. Don't worry about it.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter. Come on, baby.
No lives matter till Black
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, Queen. No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
As always, people can take their critiques of our marches and shove them somewhere where the light don't shine. Simply because if you're not here,
Keep going.
No lives matter till
then your
Black
opinion
Lives
is
Matter.
a bit void.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter.
If you want to come out and tell us how to march, feel free to come out and tell us how to
No lives
march.
matter till Black Lives Matter.
Your comments don't really matter.
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
Freeway!
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 Freeway! I hit the motherfucking 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 freeway!
Freeway!
Freeway.
Freeway!
Freeway.
Freeway! I hit the motherfucking freeway!
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 Say her name!
Tanisha Chappell.
Say her name!
Tanisha Chappell.
Say her name!
Tanisha Chappell.
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter!
No lives
Matter till Black Lives Matter.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter!
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter. Appreciate y'all for real, man.
Well, Cheryl, I understand that it probably came off, or that you probably meant it in a caring way, but at the same time,
At all.
Freeway?
waiting for some individuals to exit the vehicles because we did have a small handful that was helping block traffic, and then we had a small handful that also gathered, joined us while we were out. Terry, I don't comment on the actions of activists or protesters. I'm typically not going to confirm yes or no whether or not anyone is here. Comes down to the same thing as critiquing the march. If you want to know who's here, feel free to come out. We're down on the waterfront, about to be at the Lincoln Memorial. So feel free to come and join us. If you want to stay up to date on when and where actions are, you're probably going to be getting that information more from the Jared Riot page than the Right Heart page now. Again, the Riot Heart page is going to be going towards more mass media, mass news. It will be sharing our coverage as well as coverage from other organizations, and mostly for fundraising. So, you know, if you want to catch the memes, if you want to catch the live coverage, make sure you're on the Jared Riot page. Again, like, follow, share. We gotta get people over on this side. I saw you cheating.
What?
Riding in the truck.
All right.
I didn't know this was down here for years and years. It wasn't until last summer in the protests that I found this and realized that it was here. These nice reliefs, etchings.
I got an idea why. Because when it comes to freeing African American people, if you don't mention Abraham Lincoln, you are lost. He freed us from being owned. Everybody just look at this beautiful art. Each one tells a story. make change. And he is one of the ones that help make change for us. As you go through each one, everyone tells a different story. And a lot of people didn't know he got married in Lexington, Kentucky. I know I didn't know that until I did some research, but that's huge. This one right here just speaks for itself. This is how they did our ancestors, our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our cousins. In those times, this is how we look. But now look at us. Look at us now. We free, but we not free. And like I said earlier, they only freed us just by being owned from somebody else. They didn't free us mentally, they didn't free us any other kind of way. But to me, to be an African American man, I would say thank you, Abraham Lincoln. I would say thank you. When it comes to the economic part of it, they didn't want us to know none of that. So they didn't really teach us that. Then the Jim Crow law came about, and everybody know what happened then. You want to speak? Do your thing. That's the Jim Crow law.
Well, as you just heard, 100 years ago, when the Jim Crow era really began, or let's just say maybe a little later, after World War I, we'll say. Y'all ever heard of separate but equal? And then now you're hearing now in 2021 that equal really isn't equal. How can a guy shorter than me have the same height of a student than I am, but I'm taller than him and can see over the fence? But the guy that's got the same level of stoop as me but shorter can't see. That's what equal not meaning equal really means. So when you think about the Jim Crow era, like I heard, y'all ever watched the famous Lee Daniels picture with Oprah and Forrest Whitaker featured? When in the beginning, when Forrest had narrated saying how a white man could kill any of us at any time and not be punished for it, the law was not on our side. And in 2021, 100 years later, it's the same thing, just in a different means, different approach. Can y'all not see that? We may not live in the Jim Crow era in the way that it was, done back then in the same structure. Blacks having to go to their own school, not being provided the resources that they needed to, for the blacks to prosper, and then the white schools. Now you see the difference, and then you understand our education system today. See what I'm saying? It's like everybody wanted to be separate. That's what the Jim Crow was all about. Being completely separate. We couldn't sit at the same table as a white man or a woman. We couldn't use the same restroom, use the same water fountain. Like, are you kidding me? That's what all Jim Crow was. Just being completely separate but equal. Being provided maybe the same, whatever you want to call it, resources in a sense. But then white people still had it a little bit more, had it a little bit better. Just reflect on it. Watch as many black history documents or documentaries, pictures as you can. I watch a lot of them. I watched the famous movie 42, portrayed by Chadwick Boseman. I stay watching that. It definitely helps enlighten you and give you insight on how it was. It took certain bold people, whether they were white or not, to help get us out of all that racism. Because Jim Crow was real big in the, back in the courts. Think about it. It was real big. But thanks to, Jackie Robinson, him being willing to stand up, and a few others, such as our own Pee Wee Reese here, that helped get it better. It helped integrate us. That's what got us past those Jim Crow days. I'd rather us be able to be, what do you want to call it, all together and equal. We should all be able to be here on this, where we are right now, standing where we are, without there being a certain area that people standing because of the color of their skin. And that's what this is about. That's what my own movement right now is about. Ending that inequality or that inequity that we continue to just, I don't know what you want to call it, be punished by. I don't know why this is. And this is why I need more blacks to continue to stand up. That's what will help end the black on black, crime, the violence. When we all recognize that, because I'm sure everybody here recognizes it, but when everyone else does, it'll get better. There's so much to how we can help solve these problems, but if only people will be willing to speak up and finally take that action.
Everybody come take a look over here.
Melinda, you bring up a valid point. The duality of man. Every person, it's my personal belief that every person
right here on these steps.
has some innate good and some
But
innate
it's
evil
one particular one stands
inside
out more than
them.
anything. A house divided against itself cannot stand.
Abraham
So I want
Lincoln
everybody to come
did
up
many
here
great things.
and
He
stand
also
on top of
did
this step right here.
many atrocious things, including, as Melinda mentioned, the mass hanging of
Bring the flag.
American natives on several occasions.
Because it's going to take us as this community to make change. It's going to take us to make change in this community. If y'all really want to take a look at it,
If you're just tuning in, Jared Wright here with Bright Heart Media,
the whole nation.
tuned in to, we are on a march currently. Went through downtown Louisville here to the Lincoln Memorial on Waterfront. It's a march in support of justice for Tanisha Chappell. She died in a Jackson County jail under some suspicious circumstances. A few details have been released as to her death. An inmate dying in police custody is a big deal, especially if they're not willing to disclose information. To me, that makes it, that puts it in a bad light automatically from the jump. Are you hiding something? Do you have something to hide? Why are you not releasing the footage? Why are you not releasing the information? Why are you not releasing the phone calls? Apparently, at some point, Tanisha had put out a few different cries for help to her family, saying, get me out of here, something's wrong, to that effect. Nobody was able to get her any help. A couple weeks later, and she was dead. As details come, I will make sure to get those out to you. I haven't been able to speak to the family yet, but I hope to in the near future.
And that's the community. As in freeway. Freeway! 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 United we stand! United we fall! United we stand! United we fall! United we stand! United we fall! We all have a purpose on this life. We all have a purpose. And to me, it's to love each and every one of us, everybody, no matter what you look like. Give me a B! I know y'all can get a little bit louder than that. I said, give me a B!
B, I got your B, I got your B.
Give me an L!
L, I got your L, I got your L.
Give me an M!
M, I got your M, I got your M.
And what's that spell?
Black Lives Matter.
And what's that spell?
Black Lives Matter.
And what that spell?
Black Lives Matter.
And what's so crazy? This government in Louisville, Kentucky thought we still not gonna fight. We're gonna fight until we really make change. We're gonna keep fighting till we make change.
Damn right.
Always fuck 12.
Fuck 12. Early ass pigs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Fuck 12.
Tell me what we mean when we say that. Tell me what we mean when we say that. Why do we say fuck 12?
Because they pigs. That's good, that's pigs. They got no respect for the Louisville Metro pig department.
One of the chants that we say while we are taken to the streets is fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
It may sound like we just want to be vulgar, and maybe sometimes we do. But that does not mean that that saying does not have a purpose. The reason we say fuck 12 is because we are so tired of being killed, being mistreated, them abusing their authorities, them coming into our communities and planting drugs on us, planting guns on us. We're tired of them saying we're going to give transparency, we're going to train our staff more, we're going to work with the community, but all that we see is another black person being killed by several police departments around the country. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of them getting off and over and over and over again. The officers that killed Breonna Taylor, not only was there no charges pressed for it, all of the wanton endangerment charges was pressed, those was for the bullets that they missed. Those were for the bullets that didn't, if they would have hit her, they wouldn't have got a wanton endangerment charge. But because they hit the wall of a white pregnant woman, they got a wanton endangerment charge. And we're tired of the shit. We're tired of it. We're tired of being smacked in the face. We're tired of getting pulled over at traffic stops for no apparent reason other than being black. We're tired of it. We're tired of a system that was created to kill us. A system that was created to hunt us down just like slave catchers. That's why we say fuck 12. And another thing that needs to be understood, when we say defund the police, it's not because we just don't want no money going into the system. We want the money that's going in the system to be used correctly. We were told by an officer today, I don't know if it was a chief or who it was, a lieutenant, but he said that he don't want us bringing more people to the protest or whatever he said, because they have unmarked cars sitting in the neighborhoods of the west end of Louisville, Kentucky to catch murderers. Now, if an unmarked car is sitting in the neighborhoods, I don't know how that is catching anybody when you need to be having detectives out here asking questions. You need to be having detectives out here going in the neighborhoods trying to collect information. They know more than what they act like they don't know. Because they tell on themselves all the time. They just don't care. They spend more money on following protesters, having police cars sitting outside of an empty park, waiting on us to show up. That's what we mean when we say defund the police. How about taking some of that money and hiring mental health professionals so that when you have mental health crisis, you can have help when you go to respond and treat them with respect and dignity and not hurt them because they're having a mental health breakdown. That's what we mean when we say defund the police. Take the money that you're given, and instead of paying for overtime, use it to be proactive in communities. Don't wait until somebody's dead and then show up. Don't wait until the robbery has already happened and then show up. Be proactive. It don't make no sense that I live in the West End and I can guarantee 100% that if I sit on my porch all day long, I won't see a police officer the whole time that I'm sitting there until I call and say something has happened, and then I gotta wait 3 hours before somebody comes. That's not the way it's done in suburban communities. So when we say fuck 12, that's why we say fuck 12.
Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
Do your job.
Everybody give it up to her. When it comes to this generation, we're not gonna stop fighting until we get a lot of stuff changed, excuse me. As in the education system, until we get reparations for our people.
Yeah, sir. Cut the check.
Cut the check.
They ain't got a check big enough.
They do.
They print it up. They do.
Because if you look on, if you Google anything, they have a lot of money.
They got plenty of money.
They have what they say over 300-something million.
$388 million put into the city, into the government hands of the city to do what? They don't even know what they want to do with it.
But just to hear that number, it blows my mind because we still have a homeless community out here. They turned down the camps, and I think they just burned down one of the camps.
That's bullshit.
So when it comes to our city, we're going to keep fighting for everything.
That's right.
Not just for one thing. We're going to fight for each and everything. Everything.
And they keep taking the stuff from people.
We are currently at the Lincoln Memorial out on Waterfront.
They keep taking it from.
So, do anybody else got something to say?
I got something to say. Fuck 12.
Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
Fuck 12.
I'm going to let him go first.
Nine to the left.
Yep.
9 to the left.
Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
How you doing? My name is Keith. How you doing? My name is Keith. I'm not originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey.
A couple of months ago,
Fuck
I was
your
out
shields.
celebrating with some friends. I was just recently single and shit like that, so I was out with some friends on Bartown Road, and they were taking me to this beach on out in Chappell, on Chappell Road, Kentucky. Not on Chappell Road. On Chappell Road. I was going to this beach called I don't remember the name of it. I didn't get to make it because there was a minivan that was pulled over by 6 police cars. I went over, I told my friends, like, hey, pull over at this stoplight. Let me go over to this minivan, see what's going on. I'm like, there's 6 police cars. You don't take that many police cars to pull over one minivan. One young lady standing outside the minivan looking sad. She's all alone. So I go over, and I'm asking the young lady, I'm like, hey, you good? You need a water or anything like that? She said she's good. I said, I'm going to stand here and make sure everything goes okay. Make sure you're safe. So she's like, okay. So there's this one black police officer. He turns around, he starts mouthing off to me. He's like, what you doing here? Why you meddling? You don't got no business being here. I said, sir, I'm not doing nothing wrong. Just staying here, just observing, making sure everything goes okay. Because the past year, black people, we haven't been making away from traffic stops. We got Sandra Bland, who's the other guy? Dante Wright, who else? There's too many names.
Yeah.
What's up, Graham?
Looks like, I mean, a police officer literally died on the bridge getting hit by a drunk driver. I was taking a time out of my day to stop and make sure everybody left the traffic stop safe. And so he starts mouthing off to me, and so I'm like, I'm from Atlanta. I'm not gonna back down to nobody. I'm gonna run my mouth regardless. So I'm like, fuck 12. I said, look at the black cop showing out for the white cop as I'm walking to the sidewalk because he mouths off to me. It's like, he said, it's like, how about arrest you for standing on private property? I said, you don't gotta arrest me, sir. I go to the sidewalk. And as I'm walking to the sidewalk, I'm like, fuck 12. I'm like, look at the black cop showing out for the white cop. He ain't like that. His feelings got hurt like a motherfucker. Sorry for my language. So, as I'm on the sidewalk, he starts walking towards me. I'm like, sir, you can walk over here, we can have a conversation, but please do not put your hands on me. As soon as he walks up on me, the dude grabs me by my neck, he grabs me by my wrist, and he's literally trying to slam me to the ground. Not knowing, back in the day, I used to do mixed martial arts. I know how to fight, I know how to carry myself, but I'm not gonna fight a cop. So I'm like, I'm not gonna let you just slam me on my face off the rip. So I'm like, sir, what you arresting me for? He said for disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct? Dog, I'm practicing my First Amendment rights on the sidewalk. I literally did what you told me to do. You said go to the sidewalk, I went to the sidewalk. So the whole time he's still trying to wrestle me down to the ground. I literally sat here and watched this man put his hand on his gun. I thought about losing my life, but I didn't do nothing wrong. I stood there and fight him back. I stood my ground. And so all of a sudden, 3 other police officers come, they jump on my back. So now they got me talking about for resisting arrest. If I wanted to resist arrest, I would have ran when he was walking towards me. I was still running track in high school. I could have just walked right here. I'm not gonna let you arrest me. So I'm so right now, I'm fighting the case. They want me to plead to a misdemeanor, and I gotta do like 6 months without getting in trouble. It's for like a shelf deal, like say like somewhere down the line, if I get in trouble, I have to do some amount of time in jail. But I'm not trying to take that. I'm not trying to take that deal.
Like, follow, share. New page, Jared Riot. Make sure everybody knows.
They think I'm just like some random ass black dude. Like they can just come up on me and just be like, oh, you gonna take your plea deal.
Check out riotheart.com. Stay tuned. We got new t-shirt designs coming out. We were solidified about a month ago as a 501(c) nonprofit, so we finally got tax exemption. Any donations or purchases are tax write-offs.
He's like really big into the politics and stuff like that. And I literally just got.
If you have any type of donations, in kind or cash, obviously cash talks, but
I told him my story, and he's like, nah, don't
in
take
kind
that shit.
or donations, go to riotheart.com for details.
You was standing there and you was making sure a black lady was okay. When I hear black women matter, I take that to the heart, because black women do matter, because I was raised by a black woman, a single black mother. And my girlfriend, she's a single black mother, and she's raising a son by herself, and I'm doing my best I can to help her raise that little boy. So, that's all I got to say. Just keep me in your prayers.
Always.
And just, if you see me out in the streets or whatever, come up to me, ask me how I'm doing, talk to me, because I always see people out in the streets. And I'm just glad to be out today and seeing everybody's faces. Love you guys. Thank you, Chris.
Give it up for him, man. Give it up.
You know what you gotta do. No more, they gave me the same. Keep going.
Keep going.
Then I'm going to turn the mic to Maxwell.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Repeat after me. Don't post about it.
Don't post about it.
Live it.
Live it.
Don't post about it.
Don't post about it.
Live it.
Live it.
Every day, education flows through us, experiences flow through us. We learn from that. We go back to our separate areas. It sparks a flame within us. We can't forget that. We have to broaden that flame. We have to live it. We have to remember what we learned, what we've been through, and continue living it, embracing it and educating others. Because at the end of the day, we save ourselves. It's up to us. So don't post about it.
Don't post about it.
Live it.
Live it. Give it up.
And look, just to piggyback off what happened to you. What was it, 3 days ago? 3 days ago, I pulled up to a scene. I was told that LPD have shot and killed someone. So I'm driving all over Louisville just to find this location. I end up finding out where it's at. I didn't know the people, I didn't know the person that did the crime, I didn't know none of that. I just know I did my job as the person who I'm still becoming to be. And I approached the scene. I get out the car, make sure the guy was all right. He looked dehydrated. Looked like he been roughing up a little bit. But I wasn't worried about none of that. I was worried about for his safety and for her safety. Because when his girlfriend walked up, she was screaming, she was crying, she was frustrated, she was mad. So they didn't know how to handle that situation. This particular cop named Ian Green approached this black woman. Yes, she was screaming. Yes, she was hollering. Yes, she was cussing. But Mr. Officer Ian Green approached this black woman with his hand on his gun. With his hand on his gun. So I stepped in. And like I said, I didn't know the black woman, I didn't know the black man. But I don't care if I don't know you or not. Basically what I did, I stepped in front of the black woman and I told the cop, hold on. While he was still approaching with his hand on his gun. After they done beat up the black man. I don't care if you have warrants. I don't care if you this or that. I don't care. Because I wasn't there for that. My job was to make sure he was safe. Make sure she was safe. So, Mr. Officer Ian Green literally said on my Facebook Live, I'm going to lock you up. So I laughed at him. I laughed at him. Because I didn't do anything wrong but protect my community. That's it. And at the same time, the other cops was laughing. One of the cops said, oh yeah, I do remember him. But I don't remember him without his bullhorn. And I told him, I don't need no bullhorn to have a voice in this city or in this community. Then at the same time, his hand was still on his gun. I'm talking to him peacefully after I just calmed down this black woman.
You and his job.
Exactly. She was going through a little mental health, you know what I'm saying? Something, a little trauma, something they not prepared or even trained to deal with in our city. So, he said he's gonna lock me up not once, not twice, but 3 times on my live. All because I came in and calmed this black woman down to make sure we don't have to say another motherfucking name. Because like I said, I didn't know what happened at all. I pulled up as a regular citizen just to see what was going on. But we need more people to have courage, to be brave, and protect our community. I was a little nervous, I ain't gonna lie. But it did make me feel some type of way. Every day, we need to fight, and we need to keep fighting. No matter what situation it is. We need to stand together, educate each other.
I don't pick battles, I fight them all.
What he's saying, we don't just pick any kind of battle. We fight them all. And we need to fight them together. As a collective. No matter what you look like. So, just to piggyback on what happened to that situation, I might do this Monday morning. Go file a complaint on Mr. Ian Green for threatening me.
I'm sorry, is there an E at the end of his name or was there just an E?
It's just Ian Green.
Nicholas, I got it. He's at $44,000 he's made this year on his salary. Yeah, he's just a standard beat officer. I just pulled up his info. He ain't like rank and file.
But this is what we have to go through, though. I just pulled up just to de-escalate, because I'm pretty good at de-escalating stuff, no matter what situation it is. So I'm going to go put a complaint out on this guy. And I did a little bit of research on this guy. He has so many complaints on him, it's crazy. It's crazy. And he's still out here in our streets. The real question is, why? We need to come up with a policy. 3 strikes, you're done. And that don't mean lose your job here and go get another job over there.
When a lawyer fucks up, they lose their bar association.
Facts.
When a doctor fucks up, they lose their job.
And when we mess up and go get a felony,
We gotta go do life.
exactly. So why not that same code don't go for this government? Because that's not, it's going to be his first complaint. Y'all can look him up.
Get some pat on her back. Oh, good job.
And one thing he thought he was going to scare me away once he said he would lock me up. I told him to do it. It's not going to be the first time for get locked up for standing up for my right. But if you see something, say something. Everybody repeat after me. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No justice!
I think we messed that all up.
We're supposed to all say no justice, then we all say no peace together.
You already know.
Yeah, we messed up.
But y'all good though. It's 2021, man. We messed up. Freeway!
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 And what's so beautiful about Freeway? There's so many different organizations, and so many different people, nationalities, different religions. We all stand for one thing. Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Okay, I know y'all probably tired of hearing my voice, but I got one more thing I want to say. First, I want to say what's up to my pastor, Stay Shell. Stay Shell, Pastor Movement Community Fellowship. If y'all ain't heard about it, check us out on Facebook.
Movement Fellowship. Movement Community Fellowship, that's MVMT.
Like no other.
Please come check it out, man. It's a
August
beautiful, it's a beautiful
15th is the next one.
It's a beautiful place, and it's
MVMT Community Fellowship. Movement
So what
Community
I want to
Fellowship
say, I
on
got
Facebook,
one more thing to say.
Instagram.
Chris had brought up the education system. And as we know, the education system is a system of oppression. If you didn't know, now that you know. And one of the reasons I want to talk about this is because there is no equality in our public school systems. There's been a discussion of teaching critical race theory in the public school systems, and people all over the world, we know what people they are, have fought, I mean literally, been arrested in meetings that have been held with the school board and the parents because they do not want their kids taught this because they feel like the subject matter of racism is being forced down their throats. Now, in Jefferson County,
If you don't teach it, they'll be it anyway. You're naturally
Right,
biased.
right.
We are all naturally
it's
biased.
about raising awareness. It's about teaching the truth of the history of this country. It's several reasons it should be taught, but people feel like it's being forced upon their children, as if there's things in the school system that is not being forced upon children of color. Jefferson County has, I believe, between $3 and $5 million that they have received, and they have 3 years to do something with it. I believe a great portion of that money could be to take the critical race theory and apply it to their curriculum.
Yes.
I also believe that they can look into other ways of protecting our schools and securing our schools instead of hiring police officers to come into our schools when most of our children are traumatized at the presence of a police officer. We all seen what happened with the J-Town situation where there was a fight and the police officer went to de-escalate it and slammed the child on the ground, causing physical injury. There are some things that just should not be. While we're trying, like I said earlier, we're talking about defunding the police officers. Why are we paying police officers to go into schools when they can be out here solving crimes? They are students. They are not criminals. That is not a place for police officers. It's an educational structure. They are students. When you send police officers into our schools, what type of message does that send? What type of message does it send to have officers walk in the hallways of schools? What they could do with some of that money is possibly create opportunities for people in the community that already have organizations like the Hope Bus to come in and teach our children how to act accordingly, how to respond to situations, and manage their emotions, and be able to behave in a way that is conducive to their learning process. We don't need anybody else coming in causing a threat. I just wanted to say that, and also I believe that JCPS can be taking some of the money that they got and partnering with all of these we got way too many organizations out here that are willing to go and teach children, willing to go and mentor children, and they're trying to partner with JCPS, and I only know one out of about 20 that they partner with. But if y'all want to force kids out at 18 years old, 17 years old when they graduate, we tell them to go vote, but we ain't taught them nothing about political parties. We ain't taught them nothing about the voting process. So we can go in there. Chris Wells has an organization called Freedom for Our Nation. One of the things it teaches is political intelligence, cultural intelligence. And we are able to go in and partner and teach our children what it is that they need to know so that they can be productive citizens in this community. I believe that there's several organizations. If they really won't change, we can be a part of that answer. But we need them to stop saying, oh, yeah, that's a great idea, and then we never come back to the table. It's time to really take the community and make it equal for everybody. Make it beneficial for everybody. I don't want to be scared to, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm not just scared to send my child back to school because of COVID. I'm scared to send my child back to school because it's a police officer that's gonna be in there. And if my son has an altercation with another child, because that's what kids do sometimes, I don't want to have to worry about him being slammed down on the ground. He has a bleeding disorder. You, officer, you don't know that the way you just misused your authority might send my son into a critical situation. You know, but these are some of the things that we don't think about that I think that we should think about, and that's all I have to say.
Good job,
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
Glad you spoke, April. Now you done really turned me up.
Go ahead.
So yeah, just to piggyback off what April was saying. Do you understand what the school to prison pipeline is?
Yep.
JCPS is among the
Speaking on this earlier,
to the school to prison pipeline.
Prison pipeline, for-profit prisons. You got to keep bodies in prison so these independent, privately owned, for-profit prisons can continue to pay their stockholders.
But I was working in JCPS just a year and a half ago. Do y'all understand? If y'all didn't see me on the news, y'all remember JCPS employee arrested after protesting with the gun? I got indicted on 2 felonies, terroristic threatening and the gun on school property. Explain why I'm standing here right now. They just locked up somebody else for 6 years for the same exact offenses. You know why I'm standing here? Because I know my laws, and I know them well. I didn't threaten anybody.
Cops got gun in the schools.
Right. Yeah, the employees have guns too. I'm quite aware of that. So you know how I got away with it? I was in the right place where they couldn't arrest me. If I was breaking the law, they would have arrested me off the bat. I wasn't breaking the law because I wasn't
prison
at school, by the way.
pipeline.
I know better than to take a gun and have a gun
Capitalism,
out on my
any
person at a
business,
physical
its
school,
entire
no matter if
premise
it's in
is
session or not,
to
compared
cut
to what they did
overhead
in
to
class
increase
last
profit,
year.
right?
But, like I said, though, I'm standing here today
that's the
after I got indicted.
number one
for facing
principle
up to
behind
15
business.
years.
You cut your costs to
So,
improve
explain
your
that
profit.
to me.
So
You know what led
if
to
these
all
for-profit
that? That's what
prisons
the
are
problem is. I
cutting
wanna talk about what
food
led to it.
costs, housing
I'm
costs,
standing
clothing
working in this
costs,
school,
stuff that are human
trying to
rights
help save
that
these
even
kids.
people
I'm
in
working in
prison
elementary school.
deserve.
So obviously the
They
culture,
cut these costs, and it creates
appropriate for kids
atrocious
like that,
living
for that
conditions
age
for these
group of
individuals
kids,
that are
of
trying
kids,
to
too.
repent
So,
for
I'm just
their
learning.
wrongdoings
I
to
had already had a
society.
little experience
That's the
going
purpose
in,
of the
working
judicial
with,
system, is that
elementary age
people are
students or
charged and then
teenagers,
given
so
the
it wasn't that bad
opportunity
of a situation for
to
them.
rehabilitate and be
I still had to
released back into society,
Every
forgiven
little
for their
thing I was
crimes,
doing, they
right?
were messing with me.
So
It was
these
like they were
individuals
trying
are
to
there to
railroad
try
me.
to
If I said anything
improve
wrong to a
themselves so
kid
they
or
can be
a kid go back
released
and
back
say
to
something, they were
society,
jumping on it
and
so
the state in
fast.
and of itself
But
is
these
not
kids
taking
is
care
in
of
there,
them.
like, apparently
They're
some of them
cutting costs
obviously need
again,
some
creating
additional
terrible living
social
conditions,
training or social
and
movement
creating
for the social environment that they're in. When I was in the
just a
teacher's
capitalistic
lounge one
nightmare.
day, this is back in 2019, I heard some teachers make some disparaging remarks about students. That, I mean, I don't want to really repeat them because it's like I'm implicating. The teachers actually were saying bad things about students. And I mean, they're only in elementary school. Why do you feel like you got them already figured out, like everything's already set for them? Oh, I know why that is. It's because y'all just give up on them, and then, you know, y'all just let them come on through and get on done with them. Y'all not training them any further. It ain't just up to the parents. Schools also raise our kids. And at this point now, in 2021, or really since the past decade or so, they haven't been raising our kids anymore. So I agree with April. I'm scared to send my kids, if I had any, to school too, to JCPS at least. I'm scared to send them there. They will let your kids be bullied. They will not address any of the social issues that are going on in the school. That's what's going on right now in JCPS. Yep. They are not adequately or consistently addressing the social issues. So bullying, all that, you know, child behavior and stuff, all that, they don't address those things. They'll let a kid cuss you out in a heartbeat. They don't do nothing about it. If I cussed my teacher back when I was in elementary, I would have been gone for 20
Jackson
days.
County, at least the women's facility, is where Tanisha Chappell, her life was lost under questionable circumstances. So, Dorothy, I'm glad that you brought up Jackson County, because they are the reason we are marching at this moment.
If they're disruptive, they don't care. They
Jackson County, we need you to release any records you have
with
details
I chose to fight,
correlating to the death of Tanisha
And look what happened. I
Chappell.
still triumph at the end of the day. Because like Chris said, I fight all battles. He says fight all battles. That's what we got to do. We don't fight all battles, the problem will perpetuate. Just saying.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Real talk.
Hey, mic check.
Mic check.
Can I get all of y'all to come over here so we can pray? So
Started with the prayer. I wasn't live then. Looks like we're going to end with another.
And I appreciate everybody that came out and supported.
I'm not
I
hyper
appreciate
religious,
everybody in tune.
but I have been moved a few
On the
times
live,
in the
I
last
appreciate
year
it.
whenever groups of protesters have prayed. So
Y'all pray again,
I guess I participate gently. While I don't believe that necessarily prayer in and of itself has any magical power, I do believe in the power of positive thought. If someone is going through a difficult time and they believe that people are praying for them and that it will help, then that positivity will help.
I know Big Mama used to say, family pray together, stay together.
We got Pastor Stacia Bussey. She is the Movement Community Fellowship Pastor. She is the protest pastor. She found her flock here amongst us at her whole service once a month now. That is MVMT Community Fellowship. Check
Just
it
know
out on
this
Facebook,
generation, we ain't keep putting
Instagram.
up with too much stuff. I'm telling you.
Y'all go ahead. Sorry. Normally I would join hands, but I wanted to stay live with a good angle on this.
Can you hear you? Wow, can you hear me? Can you hear me over there?
Yeah.
It's good to see y'all still out here, still out here doing this. I may think that I can try to get here, but I think it really says it with itself. A house divided against itself cannot stand. And it is absolutely true that this city is still divided. But be encouraged. They hear us and they see us. Every space I'm in, they talk about it. They recognize the work that we have done. So even though we are few in number out here right now, what you did last year was not in vain. I am where I am because we put our feet on that ground and on that pavement. Some of y'all got slammed on the pavement.
Facts.
You know, but
Still fighting the case.
Facts.
Few of them. So one of my favorite verses that I like to just put in my meditation time is Micah 5:18 or 5:24. It simply says, after all they have been through, they was like, we just gonna let God handle it. And they said, let justice roll down like water, and let righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. I don't know about other people's God, but the God I serve is a God of justice. And this is the kind of stuff that we gotta do to make sure the righteousness keeps flowing down like a water stream. So let us pray. Lord, give us the strength to carry on just a little while longer. Lord, give us your courage. God, we need you in this moment. Our city needs you. As divided as we are, God, we know that you can bring all things together. And when you do something, you do it all well. God, I thank you for each person who is still boots on the ground, feet to the pavement, who have not relented. God, I thank you for every courageous soul who's out here, who continues to speak. There are so many of us who are still targets, but yet we still stand. God, I pray for your protection. Some of us are still fighting court cases. I pray for your provision. Some of us don't know where our next meal is coming from. God, I pray that you just be with us. God, I pray right now for family, the Chappell family. God, right now we seek answers for that family. So God, be the God of peace. Wrap your arms around that family. But we believe in your justice. And while we wait for your justice, we'll march on. So God, we believe in freedom. We believe in liberation. But most importantly, we believe in community and each other. So we thank you. We believe you for everything, even justice, and we doubt you for nothing. Protect us as we go back to the square. Protect us wherever we go, where we go. God, keep us together. Because like this wall says, a house divided can and will not stand. All these things we pray in your son's name, or whatever God needs to be lifted up. We say amen.
Amen.
So, we just wrapped up a march in support of justice for Tanisha Chappell. Again, she died under questionable circumstances in the Jackson County jail system. A few details have been released. And again, in my opinion, just my personal opinion, mine only, if you're not disclosing the details, it kind of puts a sketchy light on it. Looks like you're trying to hide something. So that's currently what's going on. People are just wanting the answers. They're wanting to know what happened. So we march for justice. Pastor Stacy Bussy made it up late. I was able to close us out with a prayer. Again, look up Movement VMT Community Fellowship. It is a church unlike any I've ever seen, all-encompassing. Everyone's welcome from all walks of life. I should be doing a little bit of streaming there in the near future, but let's see. We're probably just gonna go ahead and sign off of here. I don't have time to catch the march back. I honestly don't even know if everyone's gonna be marching back together, if we're gonna be jumping in cars or whatever. But I actually gotta go to work tonight. So share the riot or share the Jared Riot page. It is the new page. It is where I'll be live most of the time from here on out. Only because the Riot Heart page is being throttled by Facebook. We're not getting the exposure that we actually have with our 36,000 followers. It's not hitting the way that it should. But Jared Riot has no restrictions. So if you go there, you like, you follow, you share, you will get the notifications whenever I go live. Further than that, I like to post memes, funny things like that, not just the news. So there's a lot of different content on there as opposed to the Riot Heart page. We got some new t-shirt designs that are going to be coming out real soon, so the web store will be updated. Any donations or purchases are considered tax deductible because we are now certified 501c3. Yay! All right, but gonna go ahead and sign off. So until next time, everybody stay strong, stay safe.